Hi guys, so with NABARD Grade A 2022 notification out and we all being engaged into our preparation, most of the people are trying to figure out how to cover the syllabus in limited time. Time come hai sir. Well, I think it's not about time come hai, but it's all about how to use that time efficiently and effectively. That is, with the right strategy, how can you get the maximum marks by preparing to a limited extent in the next 45 days. So I would be discussing the plan for the next 45 days. And before I start, I would request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Telegram channel, the link for which is given in the description of this video. So this is the overall pattern we know, right? There are non-merit sections, and there are 5 merit sections. So we have to focus more on the merit sections, but at the same time, we cannot ignore the non-merit sections because, for example, last year, the cutoff in English was around 11 point something out of 30, which is very high, around 35%. So we have to keep a balance. We should not be spending too much time on the non-merit sections so that it is costing us in terms of marks in the merit sections, but at the same time, we shall not be ignoring the non-merit sections. In this video, I shall be mainly discussing the strategy for the merit sections GA, ESI and ARD. Right. So overall, when we prepare for GA, ESI and ARD, we need to understand that this is kind of common between phase 1 and phase 2. So we mainly need to prepare for phase 2 with required focus on the non-merit sections. So this is the plan. Between notification and phase 1, near about 45 days or 1 or 2 days, less than 45 days are left. So here we have to take objective part on priority. What about the descriptive part? So unofficially, I've got a news that between phase 1 and phase 2, you are going to get a lot of time, around 50 days time, which is usually higher than what has happened in the previous years. So here we can complete the subjective part on priority. So हमें descriptive के लिए we need not be frightened about that. We shall mainly be focusing on the objective part. Right, subjective part हम बाद में कर सकते हैं. We are gonna have time as the information we have, but I'm not saying that we have 100% surety that this would be 50 days. It can be even lesser, but because dates are not announced, but as per the news we have got, now that news is not always 100% sure. But I think you can take that risk because even not 50 days, you will get at least about 25 days to 30 days in which subjective part can be done, provided you are thorough with your objective part. Now, you need to understand that the key to success is current affairs. Key to success is current affairs. If you see phase 1, ESI, this 25 marks was current affairs. Even here, the static marks of 15 marks were actually not static. Many of them were derived from current. I'll tell you later. And in ARD, 15 marks was current, 25 was static. So आपका 40 मार्क का इसमें करंट आया है, 40 मार्क का स्टैटिक आया है, but if you add 20 in GA, right, it makes a total of 60 marks. So key to success is current affairs, and mainly because current affairs is a pain area. ARD static you all will be able to do. I mean, once you read it, you will score at least say 10-12 marks out of these 25. But in current affairs, the scope is really vast. So that is a pain area, but that is the key to success that we need to understand. So what is the plan? So this is the plan in front of you. Now try to understand carefully. I made this plan on 20th of July. I was planning to make this video on 20th of July, but it got delayed. But nonetheless, this plan can still be executed because you would have at least read something. So what I want from you is first 3 slots. One slot of at least 3 hours daily, which I would suggest to have it in the morning or late night when you are completely free of distractions. Then 1 hour slot and another 1 hour slot. So total of 5 hours of study is what I would suggest you to do in case you are a working aspirant. Otherwise, you have a lot of time. So in the first 2 weeks, that is from 20th of July to 3rd of August, okay, we will be covering ESI Current Affairs, government schemes in this slot. Here we will be doing ARD static for 1 hour daily, and here quant we will be doing. Right. In case you are good at quant, you have already prepared for banking or say RBI exam, then you can save your quant time here and use it for ARD static. Between 4th of August to 18th of August, which is around about 14 days again, we will be doing ARD reports, ARD current affairs and ESI reports. ARD schemes, would be covered here itself. Government schemes is both for ESI and ARD. We will continue with ARD static, and we will pick reasoning in another 1 hour slot. And here between this period, we will give just one full length mock test. We need to save our mock test till the end. I'm a true believer, till the time you are not done with your 60 or 70% syllabus, do not give mock test, because they will shake your confidence. When you are not prepared, you will not get marks. Then in the next in the third slot of or the third block, I would say, this is first block, this is second block, this is third block, around about again of 2 weeks. Here we will pick up GA, and we will pick up non-merit sections like decision making and computer knowledge. And here in this 1 hour slot, we will do ESI static. Now it will not be possible to cover the entire ESI in 1 hour in 15 days. But then I'll tell you what are the important chapters, because ESI static can be handled within this limited time. And I would recommend you not to study ESI static in detail before phase 1, because if you are doing this at cost of current affairs, you are going to struggle in phase 1. And then we also have to start revision for 1 hour in the third block here. And we will try to give 3 to 4 full length mock tests here. In the last week, it's all about revision here. In the 3 hour slot, here revision also. Here, if you are left with some ESI or ARD static, you can do that. Otherwise, you can do revision here also. फेज 2 का भी हम छोड़ देते हैं, इसके बारे में हम सोचेंगे भी नहीं. We need not think about that. So this is the overall plan, and this is basically on the basis of doability. You will not be able to cover everything, but the way I'm going to tell you that you need to cover all this, it's all about doability. That I will do less, but I'll do that, which is going to help me strike gold in the exam. Priority. You can see I have focused more on priority. I focus more on current affairs in terms of priority. In the 3 hour slot, I'm asking you to cover the current affairs, because that's a major area which can fetch you marks. Revision is another key area which should not be forgotten. If you will read everything but will not revise, it is almost equivalent to that you have not read anything. So you can see revision here, revision here, revision here. Without revision, there is no progress. So even if you read less, that's okay, but revise it and focus on limited things. We are not going to start everything at one time, that quant, reasoning, ESI, ARD, report, schemes, everything at one time. No, focus on limited things, try to finish off those things, then move on to the next challenge. With this, you will be able to focus more, you will also be able to generate more productivity, and you will be able to feel satisfied because you will be able to meet your targets. So this is an overall plan. Now I am going to explain each and everything. How can you cover each and everything efficiently? Because for each and everything, you are not going to have time at your leisure. So if I first talk about government schemes, guys, first of all, government schemes needs to be read which are related to your syllabus. You have education in your syllabus, you have poverty in your syllabus, you have say health in your syllabus, right? Social justice in your syllabus, human development in your syllabus. So whatever schemes are related to your syllabus, you need to read only those schemes. For example, here you can see these questions. Samagra Shiksha related to education. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao related to education. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana related to poverty alleviation. So all those schemes, I'm just giving you 3 examples here, but all those schemes that are being asked in the exam are related to your syllabus. Next is in news. Now many people would say, sir, Garib Kalyan Yojana, it's a very old scheme. Do I have to prepare all the old schemes starting say 2005 or 2010 or even 1990? The answer is no. You have to read the schemes in news, that is the schemes which were in media. Media means PIB, Hindu, wherever they were covered for any reason. A news is covered not only when it is launched. A scheme is covered not only when it is launched. A scheme might be covered when it is updated or it has been appreciated. No changes there, but it has been appreciated for its good performance. A scheme has been criticized for its performance. For whatever reason, a scheme is in news, primarily on the Hindu and the PIB. That scheme is a target to be asked in the exam. So for phase 1, I would say that schemes which are in news 3 months prior to exam, you have to read that. So if your exam is in September, you have to read June, July, and August. That is the minimum you have to do. After that, if you get time, it is not mandatory but recommended you go for 5 months. फेज 2 के लिए 3 मंथ्स तो करने ही करने हैं, 6 महीने ही करने हैं मेरे हिसाब से तो, बिकॉज देयर यू कांट टेक रिस्क, बट इफ यू गेट मोर टाइम देन गो फॉर 9 मंथ्स. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत बड़ी एक प्रॉब्लम है कि सर कितने महीने की स्कीम्स पढ़नी है. सो आई एम मेकिंग इट क्लियर हियर. यू हैव टू रीड इट फॉर 3 मंथ्स फॉर फेज 1 एंड 6 मंथ्स फॉर फेज 2. एंड व्हाट आर द डायमेंशंस? And before telling you dimensions, I'll show you some questions. So this Samagra Shiksha question has been asked in your exam, though this is an old scheme, right? But this was covered on PIB. So if I show you here, this has been covered on PIB on 4th August 2021 last year. And last year your exam was somewhere in September, I think. So just 1 month before your exam, Samagra Shiksha was in news on PIB. Right? I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Right. So similarly, if you see another question on Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, again, this is an old scheme. But why this was asked in your exam? Again, this was on 1st June 2021, that is 2 months before your exam last year. Sorry, this is Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana I'm talking about, right? This was in news. So Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, this was in news on PIB 2 months before your exam. So any scheme which is in news on PIB or Hindu would be asked, or is the target to be asked in the exam. So you have to cover only those schemes. Those might be old, does not matter. And if I talk about ARD schemes, more or less, I mean, when you cover ESI schemes, you will also be able to cover the schemes related to agriculture. But specifically, if I talk about ARD schemes, you have to cover schemes which are released by Ministry of Agriculture and allied, say Ministry of Fisheries or Ministry of Animal Husbandry. If any scheme has been released by them, that also becomes important. Right. Dimensions में क्या रहता है? Dimensions में they can ask you about the ministry that has launched that scheme, the allocation in the union budget, the funding pattern of that scheme, how much state or center is contributing, what are the beneficiaries under that scheme, who are the target segments, or what is the objective of that scheme, rather what is that scheme wants to achieve. सो ये सारा कुछ स्कीम्स के अंदर पढ़ना है, सिलेबस से रिलेटेड पढ़ना रहेगा. जो स्कीम न्यूज़ में रहेंगी पीआईबी और हिंदू पे, अब वो कैसे पता चलेगा वो न्यूज़ में है? आइदर यू हैव टू सर्च बाय योरसेल्फ ऑन द पीआईबी एवरी आर्टिकल एंड सी विच स्कीम इज बीइंग टॉक्ड अबाउट, और यू नीड टू यूज सम कंपाइल्ड मैगजीन और समथिंग सो दैट यू कैन रीड इट डायरेक्टली. Next is I'll talk about ESI Current Affairs. ESI Current Affairs ka there is not much weightage. Government schemes I showed you has a huge weightage. ESI mein they were asked for around 15 marks, and in ARD also around 7 to 8 marks. But ESI Current Affairs, right, apart from government schemes or reports, are just worth around 5 marks. So by ESI Current Affairs, I mean any news which is neither a scheme or a report, but a question is asked on that. So that will fall under ESI Current Affairs. So यहाँ पे कोई भी पोर्टल या कैंपेन लॉन्च हुआ है, आप यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन देख सकते हैं, शशि दिशा कैंपेन पे है, निपुण भारत पोर्टल पे है. So all these kind of portals, campaigns, MOUs that are signed between government and say any national or international organization, those are important. Now coming to ESI reports, again ये भी 5 से 7 marks का आता है आपके पेपर में, and you need to understand, if I talk about government schemes and reports, government schemes in NABARD are very very important. In RBI, reports are also important, but in NABARD, schemes are very very important. Schemes have a high weightage as compared to reports. ESI reports में how do you prepare? Again, first is read reports related to syllabus. Now I'll show you some questions. The union budget पे क्वेश्चन आया, यूनियन बजट आपके सिलेबस में है. नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 which is also a kind of a policy or a report, it was related to syllabus. ठीक है. And reports released by important organizations, this is very very important to understand. When I say reports released by important organization, who can they be? So it can be IMF, World Bank, United Nations, then UNESCO, OECD, if I talk about India, RBI, Niti Aayog, NABARD, all these are important organizations. You have to focus more on the reports released by these important organizations than report released by any random organization. So union budget is by Ministry of Finance. Financial Stability Report is by RBI. National Education Policy is by Ministry of Education. So apart from these important organizations, important ministries which are related to your syllabus, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, if they are releasing any report, that is also important for you. But normally there are not much reports released by ministries, rather the reports are being released by these national or international organizations which I just talked about. And for how many months you have to cover reports? Again, the first target should be 3 months. At least for phase 1, 3 months is minimum. If you get time, go for 5 months, but for phase 2, 6 months. तो अभी तो मोटा मोटा देखिए जो भी जीए है, स्कीम्स हैं, रिपोर्ट्स हैं, 3 months is the minimum. If you get time, read for another 2 months, that is 5 months. That is the maximum I would recommend you to do. But for phase 2, 6 months is, I would say, is a gentle period that you should be covering, because you can't take risks there. Now coming to the ARD reports, guys, ARD में भी फंडा सेम ही है, related to your syllabus. ये एग्रीकल्चर से रिलेटेड रिपोर्ट है. दिस इज ऑल्सो रिलेटेड टू एग्रीकल्चर. देन दिस इज रिलेटेड टू एनवायरमेंट, विच इज अगेन रिलेटेड टू योर सिलेबस. एंड again, reports released by important organization. This is released by NABARD. This is released by Ministry of Agriculture. This is released by United Nations. So we have to focus on the reports released by important organizations only, even in case of ARD. Apart from that, there are some specific reports like NABARD Annual Report, Ministry of Agriculture Annual Report, Agri Census, Livestock Census, Handloom Census, Census 2011 and SECC 2011. These are very common, or I would say the most important reports from which the questions are being framed in the ARD. तो ये तो हमें करनी ही करनी है. Apart from that, any report which is related to my syllabus and released by important organization, I would also have to cover that. Now coming to ARD Static. Now ARD Static, at the outset the syllabus seems really vast. Sir, fisheries, soil and water conservation, irrigation, plantation and horticulture, farm engineering, animal husbandry, बहुत सारे topics हैं. But I think it's not about कि syllabus कितना vast है, rather it's more about कि what are the important chapters which you can cover quickly and score maximum marks. So in that sense, I would say these are the 7 most important chapters: agronomy, soil and water conservation, seeds, irrigation, fisheries, animal husbandry and poultry, and plantation and horticulture. These are the 7 most important areas. These are the 7 most important areas where you need to cover the ARD part. इससे बाहर क्या क्वेश्चन नहीं आएंगे? They can come, but I think when you have to prioritize, these 7 chapters should be at the top of your list. आप इसको देख सकते हैं. एनिमल हस्बेंड्री 2 क्वेश्चन 2021 फेज 1 में आए हैं. देन 3 क्वेश्चन 2020 फेज 1 में आए हैं. 5 क्वेश्चन 2019 फेज 1 में आए. सिमिलरली सॉइल्स 5 क्वेश्चन हेयर, 4 questions here and 2 questions here. So likewise, we have analyzed every 3-4 years past year paper, and then we have come to the conclusion कि ये chapters हैं जो ये बहुत important है. And if you see the type of questions being asked, you can clearly see questions are very much factual in nature. What is the name of male goat that is capable of breeding? Urea has highest content with dash percentage. Color of which of the following soils is red due to diffusion of iron rather than pressure of environment? ठीक है, तो ये बहुत ही फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन आए हैं that we need to understand. So when you read ARD, do not try to understand it only from conceptual understanding part, but also try to remember the factual part, because that is also being asked in your exam. ESI Static is again very vast, but as I showed you, ESI Static phase 1 में जरूर 15 marks का आया था, but phase 2 में 0 marks का आया था last year, if I talk about the objective part. So ESI Static is something which we cannot ignore, but again we should not be spending too much time that we are doing it at the cost of current affairs or ARD. So first of all, ये सबसे important chapters हैं 6. Inflation, monetary policy, fiscal policy, balance of payment, measurement of growth and sustainable environment. So this shall be my first priority. After that, obviously there are other chapters like industrial policy, regional economic cooperation, जिसमें से question आ सकते हैं, but then again it's all about how much time you are having, right? And I'll show you some questions. For example, this question was asked: which of the following country is not a member of Shanghai Cooperation of India? Now this is from regional economic cooperation, but I think these questions were derived from the current affairs last year, because Shanghai Cooperation was in news. 6th August 2021, just 1 month before your exam, Shanghai Cooperation Organization was in news. So I would say that no, it's very hard to say that these questions were from static part or they were based upon current affairs. But nonetheless, even if you would have read the static part, you would have been able to solve this question. So I'm counting this as part of static, but they are derived from current. Similarly, this Food and Agriculture Organization, I'm not going to open the link here, but when you open this link, you will see that this was also in news on PIB. बाकी लास्ट में एक जर्नल अवेयरनेस रह गया है. ये आपका करंट अफेयर्स हो गया है, ARD स्टैटिक हो गया है, ESI स्टैटिक हो गया है. नाउ इफ आई कम टू जर्नल अवेयरनेस पार्ट, here you will get static GA of around 3 marks and current GA of around say 17 marks. In the GA there would be some questions based upon ESI current affairs, which I've already explained how to do. Some questions based upon current affairs in ARD, again which I've already explained how to do, how to read reports, schemes, everything there. And then there are some exclusive topics for GA जो आप ESI और ARD के करंट अफेयर्स या रिपोर्ट्स या स्कीम्स में नहीं पढ़ेंगे. वो क्या है? बुक्स एंड ऑथर्स, स्पोर्ट्स, it's all about winners and losers in sports, science and tech, themes of important days, summit conferences, cyclones, hurricanes. You can take a screenshot of this and you will realize that every question that have been asked in GA in the past 3-4 years ultimately falls into this category. ठीक है गाइस, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू टेल यू. और जो आपका ये ओवरऑल शेड्यूल है जो मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ, वी ऑल्सो हैव काइंड ऑफ नो live classes that we are conducting where we have implemented the same schedule. So these live classes are going to start from 22nd of July. और इसमें we are covering say ESI current affairs and government schemes first along with ARD static. So this entire thing that I've shown you here, right, this schedule in blocks, the same is being replicated here so that no you get more hand holding कि ये schedule है और मेरी live classes भी हो रही हैं, मुझे daily आके यही पढ़ना है, इसके बाद जो मुझे होमवर्क दिया जा रहा है वो मुझे करना है. सो वी आर गोइंग टू कवर दिस एंटायर शेड्यूल एंड कवर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ योर सिलेबस in the next say 35 to 40 days of live classes. There would be 2 live classes every day, one from 4 to 5:30 and another from 6:30 to 8. Each class would be a 1.5 hour. So you can spend 3 hours daily on these live classes. You are going to benefit a lot. आपका सारा हैंड होल्डिंग हो जाएगा, एक शेड्यूल मिल जाएगा, उस शेड्यूल के मुताबिक आप चल सकते हैं, आपको जो होमवर्क दिया जाएगा वो कर सकते हैं. सो इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी एंड टू एंड सोल्यूशन फॉर यू, राइट गाइज. सो विद दिस आई टेक योर लीव. बाकी आपकी कोर्स के रिगार्डिंग कोई भी इंक्वायरी है, यू कैन email us at hello@edutap.co.in or you can visit our website. In the description of this video there are also links given which you can use to surf through our courses and get to know more details about that. So I wish you best of luck for your exam. Have a nice day. Bye bye.